You're watching CCN, Clarksville Community Network. Produced by Goodwin Productions. Powered by CDE Lightband.
The Lineman Rodeo, great city of Clarksville.
So we're excited about hosting the rodeo this year. This is the Tennessee Valley Lineman's Rodeo. The purpose of this rodeo here is it's all about safety. It's a program that we have to help our guys teach them techniques and teach them safety.
When you get into this line of work and this trade, it's all about teamwork, looking after the guy next to you, making sure everybody's doing right, but it's also very competitive.
They're very passionate about their work, and they want to make sure the lights are on for all their customers, whether they're here in Clarksville or anywhere else in the state. They want to keep the lights on.
I am the communications manager at CDE Lightband, but I'm also the Tennessee Valley Lineman Rodeo coordinator. So from the very beginning of booking where we're going to have the rodeo that year up until registration, all the things in and out in between that, I'll handle that and make sure that everyone has a great time while they're here. This takes about a year and a half to plan. We look ahead about 3 to 4 years of where we're going to go, so we already kind of have an idea of each year of which city. But it does take about a year to get everything planned and have all the details worked out. So we have a board, and we all meet in January before the rodeo. So the rodeos are always in June. We try to get it to where it's not too hot, but we've had a little bit of 90-degree weather this year, but that's okay. These guys are used to it. So it's a group effort. Our board of directors vote on what events we're going to have, and we pick the chief judges for those events, which are also people who work for utilities represented. They vote on it, and then that's what we have. And then our team at CDE Lightband will map that out, and we try to make it as organized as possible and put signage out there so everybody knows where to go. It's a group effort, so we have engineers that help, our linemen help, and then our communications team will help as well.
There's a lot of things that are done behind the scenes as far as ordering t-shirts and making sure that everybody's paying their registration fees. They're also just preparing the city as a whole for the people that are going to come in, and so we're giving them information on hotels in the area, restaurants in the area, preparing for the award ceremony this evening, so we'll have a banquet, and so we prepare for that. They actually set every one of these poles out here, setting up every one of these events. So it takes a lot of our linemen are out here working early and working late, in addition to their daily duties. And so there's a lot of employees putting their hands to the plow to get work done. It does take the city working together with us to make sure that we're prepared to receive those that are coming in.
Well, we only had a couple of weeks to build this, so I sort of leaned on my contract crews and my employees, and they all pulled together, and we worked really hard on getting this built, and it just come together real well. Things have turned out great. It's been some hard work for all of our guys. They've come through for us, and I think it's turned out wonderful. And it just helps everybody understand, what we do. This is probably double the size that we've ever had. I think we've set a record on vendors, participants. We're going to have to get bigger places.
We're excited about hosting it. This is the third time that we've hosted the event. It gets larger every time. We have more than 250 competitors coming in. 40 local power companies are here from across 5 different states. So it's a great thing for Clarksville, a great thing for CDE Lightband, and a great thing for the local power companies of TVA. I think what makes this year special is the location. The location is super. We're right off the river. Tremendous support from our vendors. Tremendous support from our CDE Lightband employees. Everybody wanted to come out and volunteer. Everybody's really pumped about coming to Clarksville.
A lot of competition today. We've got our apprentices competing today, and these are the young guys, so a lot of competitive spirit in them. They want bragging rights today, so they're looking forward to going out there and showing off is what they're wanting to do, but they also keep in mind that the safety's first. It'll be interesting to watch today.
We've practiced for quite a few weeks for this rodeo now, and not everybody here gets to work with each other on a day-to-day basis. The practicing and being here for these 2 days, we've all kind of gotten a little bit closer. We've got to meet each other's families. That's kind of what I liked about it.
I've been working for CDE for about 10 years now. I started out in the meter department, reading meters, and then made my way out to the line crews about 6 years ago. These young guys that are out here competing today, they're constantly looking up at what you're doing, so you always want to try to set a good example for them. That's what we try to do, because not only do we want them to go home every day, we want them to go home with all their fingers and toes. We got to keep their mind in the game at all times. All these guys out here are competitive, and it's a dog-eat-dog world. Things get rough out here, Everybody's keeping track of who's doing what, but it's very fun. It's very family-oriented. That's what I really liked about it. Very family-oriented, Families involved, your wife, your kids, grandparents, whoever wants to come. It's a great event, get your community involved and shows them, really what being a lineman's all about.
We want this to be family friendly because without your family, that's who's here to support you. There's so much love here. They're competing against each other, but they still are out there rooting each other on, and it's so cool to see. Of course you want to win and get that trophy at the banquet, but they'll go out there and cheer right after they're done with their events. They're like, yeah, man, that was a great run. You did a great job. They are there for each other. I love it, and I love being here to watch all the linemen participate and compete, and it's just one of my favorite things to do.
What I tell people, if you're not here for the whole day, make sure you make it here for the opening ceremonies. The opening ceremonies are special. You'll see 3 poles. The linemen will climb the poles and they're staggered, and then we'll set the state flag and the U.S. flag. And to see those linemen, take a picture of those linemen on the pole and see the backdrop, it brings tears to my eyes every time I see it. And of course we have a memorabilia for the fallen linemen. If you think about it, it's a dangerous job.
The guys climbing up the pole and posting the flags, talking to them beforehand, they just talked about the emotion of even being selected to do that, and what it meant to them. And so to see them do that, it just really touched my heart.
One of the most impressive things I've seen of all the rodeos I've been to was the paratroopers coming in. That was awesome. I absolutely loved that. I had chills, goosebumps. It was just awesome.
So the opening ceremony was something that was really important to me. We are from this military town, having Fort Campbell and 101st Airborne, so I wanted that represented. It was just so beautiful to see, having the skydivers come in with the American flag. The national anthem singer, she was from the 101st Airborne Division Air Assault Band, and it was just so special having them here, and that was just a great way to kick off this event because it's just very emotional to see that, and you can just feel the love and the brotherhood here, and it was just a really great moment yesterday.
We honor our military families, we honor our service members and their service, and so this is just a recognition to them, just showing that we recognize that they are here and that we appreciate, them being here and the difference that they make to our city as well. Bringing in the different families, the diverse families from all over. So it was beautiful.
You just take a lot of pride when you watch that, and some people have tears in their eye, and it's just a really special moment.
I always tell folks many things that I do, I can make a mistake and I can walk home. These linemen get out there and make a mistake and they may not go home. And so, again, that's why this is so important. It's all about safety. Safety first.
And when something does happen, we have a major accident or a fatality, it's shared across the valley. And these guys stand together. They may be competing today, but at the end of the day, they're shaking hands and hugging each other. I just can't express how much of a brotherhood this is to these linemen. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at CDE Lightband, and I'm also the Vice President of the Tennessee Valley Lineman's Rodeo. These are events that they're going to be doing in their everyday work. Somebody's at home and their power's out, it's not just flipping a switch. Our customers can come out here today, the public can come out here and see. It takes more to get the lights back on than just flipping a switch. When we're scoring them, time is the tiebreaker. Anything that they do that could possibly cause somebody to get hurt or cause that climber to get hurt, it'll be a deduction on their score sheet. The most important thing is that they're doing it safe, and any deductions, that's where it impacts their score more than anything.
I'm an auditor, and so basically once the judges grade them, watch what they do, we take in the paperwork and just make sure that they've completed everything accurately and all the information is on there. We put in their time that they signed in and the time that they're out, and then send them on their way. So we're basically just making sure that all the information that's needed is on the paperwork.
I'm General Foreman for Clarksville Department of Electricity Lightband. I started in '83. I was barely 17. We have apprentices and teams. Our teams consist of our journeyman linemen. And then all of our apprentices, they're either AP1, which there's their first 6 months, and all the way up to pre-journeyman lineman.
I actually went to a climbing school. It's like a 15-week school to learn the trade a little bit better, to know what you're getting yourself into, and then after that, I applied for this job. I done the brace change out, the lightning arrestor change out, hurt man rescue, and the snatch blocks. Whether it's from changing poles out or changing transformers out or back and forth, we use these events pretty often in the field. Brace change out, it's where we go up there and we leave the arm on the pole and we actually just change out the braces, simulating if they were bad or broken or something like that.
A tree falls on the line and pulls a cross arm sideways, breaks a brace or something, have to go up there and fix it.
And when you don't have any braces on it, the arm will start to tilt. That was a challenge we had to work with.
And on the lightning arrestor event, we change out the lightning arrestor, simulating that there was something mechanically wrong with the lightning arrestor.
Say a squirrel gets up on top of there and burns it up, or a stick flies through the air, breaks it off, anything like that can happen. And then we did a slack block event. If you're pulling up some kind of wire, like a small light wire that you can't really pull up with your hands, you put the slack blocks on it, it takes a lot of the weight out.
My first rodeo was 2018, and I haven't missed one since. I didn't want to sit behind a desk or be stuck in the office all day long, so I wanted to see a different job site every day. I had a few buddies go through line school, and I thought it'd be good for me, so I went ahead and went. I had deadlift. You had to climb up the pole to reach a hand line on a hook 10 feet and pull up 50 pounds, 45 foot up the pole and bring it back down and not crack the styrofoam. I actually got 100. I did it in 24 seconds.
I used to be one of the guys that could hit the top of that pole, do the work, and be down pretty quick. Now I see something I ain't sure I could have beat back then. They've picked up the technique, they've learned some new stuff, and we've got a lot of new equipment, like our fall restraint safeties. You're not gonna fall off the pole. Back when I started, we called it free climbing. If you cut out, if your foot comes out of that pole and you fall, that belt will not stop you. The belts we have today will only let you fall no more than 2 feet. The equipment, the tools, has come a long ways. It's been a lot safer for everybody.
I think the hurt man rescue is always a favorite because it's super fast and they have to be able to do the hurt man to be a lineman. They do testing on it yearly. So it's really cool to watch. I think it's the most fun event for people. So they have to climb up the pole real quick and cut a rope and get the mannequin down and then perform CPR to reenact if someone were to get hurt in the field.
You know, a guy gets up there, he gets hurt, heat stroke, heart attack, anything can happen, and he can't get down himself. We perform hurt man rescue and get him down.
One day it could come into place, and I like to always be up on it to save a brother.
Of course, it's very competitive, so they're here to try to get the fastest time, but it's all about safety and doing it correctly.
For me, that was probably the one that got my attention the most. What kind of pressure that would be to know that, you know, someone on your team is up there and they're injured and it's up to you to get them down.
I really enjoy getting to watch them do that, and I can tell that's probably the most serious event that they take here, because it's something that could really happen to them, and I love how much effort you can see that they put into that event. And he's performed real hurt man before. I mean, he's only been at CDE for a little while. It was actually at school when that happened, and I mean, it's something that they really do experience.
That one's my favorite because it's sad when people get stuck up in the poles, but it's good to know, and it teaches you a really good lesson.
I'm from Rogersville, Tennessee. It's northeast Tennessee. I work for Holston Electric Cooperative. I'm chief judge over hurt man, individual hurt man, and apprentice hurt man. Sometimes when we go out on storms and stuff like that, it's just a two-man crew. So the guy that climbs the pole and gets hurt, the guy that's with him goes up and rescue him, he's got to come down and perform CPR plus call 911. This is my second year of being chief judge, and I've helped do hurt man for the last probably 6 or 7 years. So it's just interesting to watch the guys come up with new tricks, new ways to get up and down and do hurt man. Individuals was the fastest time overall yesterday for us, and the guy done it in 1 minute and 5 seconds. I don't even know if I could put my tools on in 1 minute and 5 seconds, but he got everything done and 100 points in 1 minute and 5 seconds. And we had a couple of apprentices today, one done it in 107 and one done it in 110. So that's pretty impressive. You have to get a man down. It's simulated 4 minutes. After 4 minutes without a breath, it can cause brain damage. That's the whole goal, is to rescue the man off the pole in under 4 minutes, have him on the ground so somebody can resuscitate him. So when you see your comrade up on the pole and he's hurt, or you know, it's a lot of pride to get him up there and get him down safely to help, you know, and that's the whole point of hurt man.
My dad is competing in the Lineman Rodeo, and he is for Benton County Electric System. His name is Wesley Brown, and her dad isn't competing, but he's coming to watch his team compete.
My name is River. My favorite thing is to watch him climb on the poles.
My favorite thing is just watching my dad do his best work and actually thinking and taking time to do his Lineman Rodeo and really having a lot of fun doing it safely, but doing it in a matter of time without getting hurt. There is this thing called on-call where you have to answer the phone every time you get a call, so you can't really be like, I'm busy right now, I can't do it. He doesn't stop working. He gets home, he relaxes, but then the next day he gets up. He's always happy to go to work.
They want the lights back on as quick as they can. You know, these guys, you know, they miss birthdays, they miss holidays. When everybody else is in their bed at night, they're out working. And they want to make sure that our customers are safe and they have reliable service.
I'm a line wife, so my husband's a lineman. He usually competes, but he's helping me this year. I love being able to have that connection because I have a big heart for the linemen, just because I'm married to one, but it also is what I do for a living too. And so I just have a huge heart for what these guys do. As a line wife, it is, it's scary sometimes because you know that your husband's out there working in these conditions. It's not always, 70 degrees and sunny. Most of the time it's freezing cold or super hot, and they're out there in the pouring down rain and the storms, and they miss all the holidays and the birthdays because they're out here working for our community, and they love that. But it is something that can be kind of tough as a line wife and working for a utility. There's a lot of sacrifices that they make themselves and for the community, and I 100% agree that they are first responders. And when the fire department's out there at the police department, you always will see a line truck too, because if they're hitting a utility pole or anything like that, the linemen have to come out there before the fire department can do anything. So they are first responders to us and heroes to us. They're the backbone to this community.
When that phone rings and there's power out, we're on the job within 30 minutes. So the crew up and out of the house in their safety gear with their equipment, and we're on site in no time. We run up on situations where we've got wire down, poles broke, we have to call in extra people. Once we get there and assess that situation, and then we call in whatever else we need, whether it's getting our warehouse in for more poles and material, calling in more crews. Try to stay away from lightning, but as far as wind, rain, cold, hot, it doesn't matter what it is. When the lights go out, we go to work.
I'm married to Kenneth Hogan. He's a apprentice lineman at CDE. We had a windstorm that hit in March, I believe is when that was, and we had 70,000 plus people out of power. Kenneth and the rest of his team, they worked about 16, 18-hour days for about 2 weeks straight, where I didn't see him till 10 o'clock at night. He got to eat and he went to bed, and then at 4 a.m. he was gone again. We couldn't power anything without him. It's untelling where this world would be.
Every electric company does the same thing. When the lights go out, somebody's on their way already. Whatever the weather, we can make it happen.
I do all of the recruiting and the onboarding, so when we make the decisions on the hiring, I bring them on staff with us. But before I get to that, I also do the review of the applications and making sure they meet the requirements that we're looking for. You know, when we're doing interviews and we're asking these questions, you can tell those that are passionate about it and those that say, I'm looking for a career and not just a job. And when they say that, I'm like, oh, I want to hire them right now. Because there's a difference between something that's a job and something that's a career for you. And so we're looking for that. And then just those that have taken the initiative to complete the training that is required. And those who say that, you know, I'm eager to learn, I want to be the best that I can be. And so those are the ones that are teachable and that are trainable and not coming in set with their own ideas and ways. And so those are some of the things that stand out when we're doing the interviews.
If we hire you in green, which means you have no experience at all, we'll give you a 1-year probationary period to get used to what we do and how we do it. After that, you'll start into a 4-year program that progresses every 6 months. We train from top to bottom. And once that guy gets trained, we hire a new guy. We expect that guy right there to tell him everything that he was told when he first started. The beginning is tough on him. Some people just after a little while, they say this, you know, it's just not for me. So, you know, it may look good in the beginning, but, you know, after a while, the work is dangerous. Sometimes you get halfway through this and you decide, you know, this is just not for me, and it happens. But what we're trying to instill in them is you only make one mistake up there, so you don't make mistakes. Pay attention, listen. Don't do a lot of talking. If you got questions, you need to ask them. You got a gut feeling about something, you're gonna feel it in your gut. That's when you gotta stop. You gotta know exactly what you're doing before you go do it. So they taught me that gut feeling means something's wrong. That's why I'm still here with all my fingers and toes. We have a few that, of course, didn't make it, and some without fingers, toes, hands, feet, arms. Mistakes, human mistakes.
Probably the best advice that I can give is be careful, know what you're getting yourself into. You know, don't always look at that dollar figure. You know, this isn't for the faint of heart, and this isn't for everybody, but it's a good trade. It's taken care of me and my family for a long time, and it's something that I really enjoy. I really found my calling early in life, and you know, you got to be dedicated to it because you're going to miss many hours and a lot of time with your family. So know what you're getting into, and always be careful and look out for the guy next to you. Your heart's got to be in it, that's for sure, and so does your mind. Your mind has to constantly be in the game because, you know, you want to go home every day. You got a family you want to go home to, so your heart and your mind both have to be in it.
It takes a unique skill set to be a lineman. It's not for everybody. You know, some people are afraid of heights. You can't be afraid of heights. You have to be able to work well under pressure and in all types of environments. So rain, sleet, or snow, they're out here working. If the power is out, they're out here restoring the power. So it takes a special person to be a lineman, special skill.
I can't say enough about our linemen and what they do. You rely on the guy right beside you. There's so much of a teamwork aspect to this, and I can't be more prouder than our linemen. We got a super bunch here.
The attributes of a lineman, you gotta have a beard and wear a hat. No, all jokes aside, you know a lineman when you see one. They are just the most hardworking men that I think I've ever been around, and the most loving too, because they really are just such a team and a brotherhood together. When they walk in the room, you just know, like, okay, that's a lineman.
I would say hardworking, loyal, very trustworthy, and all of them are funny. They all have to have a good sense of humor to work in the line of work that they do, because they deal with difficult things on a daily basis. So it takes somebody with just a really good heart and a healthy mind to be able to do what they do every day.
Also, most of them are just great people, and, you know, will just give the shirt off their back if you asked, you know. I come out here every year just because I like the experience with the guys that I meet. I'm not the best climber, I'm not the fastest climber, but I do it for the experience and meeting other people in this field of work, because I think it is a great brotherhood and we got each other's back when it comes down to it.
They're pretty hard workers, especially when the lights go out. No matter what kind of weather, storm, rain, snow, just the climate is always different. We're there for you, and we get a lot of support.
Everybody kind of pitches in and helps each other. Not everybody has one specific thing that they're set to do. Nobody's really better than the next guy. Being in line work, a lot of people think it's just another job, like just any other job where you show up to work and you do your work and you go home at the end of the day, but it's not like that. This line of work is a whole lifestyle. You have to watch what you do on the weekends. You might get called into work. If you have a wife or a family, they've got to worry about you all the time. Like, it's not just a job, it kind of changes your whole life getting into this industry.
I'm very grateful for the representation that y'all are giving them. They deserve every bit of it. I can't tell you how many people I've met, and I tell them my husband's a lineman, and they're like, I don't know what that is. So I'm very grateful for the representation for them.
I do very much look up to my dad, because when I watch him do his jobs and everything safely, then it makes me inspired to be like him.
My brother wants to be like a lineman like my dad.
Got a great bunch of guys, couldn't be more proud of them. I'm telling you, we're family. CDE Lightband been there for almost 30 years, and we're a family. And I'm rooting for every one of them just like there's one of my kids.
A lot of the guys at CDE are really amazing mentors. Between all the foremen and supervisors and management, they're always there for you, so they're good mentors.
I got several people that I've looked up to in this industry, you know, that's kept me straight, made me a better employee, better lineman, made me a better person, better man, better father. I've grown up, basically born and raised here in Clarksville my whole life, and I've been around the CDE family for many years. Clarksville's growing, but CDE still tries to stay a family.
For current and exclusive content, subscribe to CDE Lightband, connecting you at the speed of light.